Welcome to Introduction to RightFax training from Advantage Technologies. My name is Skip Davis, and this is an introduction to RightFax cover sheets. Now, there are several different types of cover sheets supported by RightFax, but in this training session, we will touch on the two most common, the PCL cover sheet and the .doc cover sheet. The PCL, or Printer Control Language cover sheet, is created by taking cover sheet model and converting it by printing it out to a file. Cover sheets are made up of two parts, the cover sheet itself and the embedded codes. The embedded codes are used to automatically populate fields within the cover sheet. Now, in creating your PCL cover sheet, you'll first want to create a source cover sheet. And there are a couple of rules that need to be followed. First, your embedded codes should always be in a printer type font. Now, some of the most common printer type fonts are Courier and Universe. Second, your embedded codes should be in a 10 to 12 point font. This is the optimum size for converting the codes. Also, you need to keep embedded codes away from text boxes. These can interfere with the conversion of the codes. A list of embedded codes is available in the RightFax Administrator's Guide for your version of RightFax in Appendix A. Now, to create our template, we'll need to insert the embedded codes. I'm going to use some basic embedded codes here. First, next to to name, we'll insert the to name embedded codes. And as you can see, each of these embedded codes are surrounded by the less than and greater than signs or angle brackets. For to fax number, we will use the to fax num embedded code. And you'll notice I'm capitalizing. That's just to make it more readable. It doesn't have to be capitalized. You can use all lowercase, all uppercase. Not really going to make a difference. It just needs to be in a printer type font such as Courier and 10 to 12 point font. So we'll keep on. We'll use the from name. And the from fax num. Now, once you've completed your source, you'll need to convert it to a PCL file. To do this, you'll need a printer that will use an HP LaserJet 4 or possibly an HP LaserJet 4000 PCL5 driver. I've created a printer. So we do a print and we go here and we'll go up. And here I have an HP LaserJet 4000 series PCL5 printer. And make sure that you click on print to file. So we'll OK here. And now it's going to ask us where we want to put that file. First thing we got to remember to do is change the save file type. Because if we don't, it will give it a PRT extension, and we don't want a PRT extension. Now we also need to find a location for it. So what we're going to do, I'm just going to put it on the C drive, and we're going to call this cover sheet, and it's going to be .pcl. And we click OK. Now, once we've done this, we need to determine, did this work? Did we create the PCL cover sheet that will be able to use the embedded codes? Here's how we do it. We go in and we'll go to the C drive, and you can see here's my PCL file. we open this up in WordPad. And let's just do a format, and we're going to word wrap this. To determine if the PCL cover sheet file converted correctly, we look for our embedded codes. If you notice, a lot of this is rasterized, but within here, you'll see our embedded codes are in plain text. To name, to fax num. What that says is we were able to get the PCL to convert properly so that when you use it as a cover sheet, it will take those embedded codes and it will populate it with the correct information. Now, to create a .doc cover sheet, you'll need to create your base cover sheet. Once you have that in place, it'll be time to enter the embedded codes. With .doc, you can use the embedded codes found in the administrator's guide, or you can use doc variable codes. To add doc variable codes, place your cursor where you want the code to be inserted, go to the Insert tab on the ribbon, and click on Quick Parts. Select Field. When the field dialog box comes up, select doc variable. At the bottom of the box, click on the field codes. This will populate the advanced field properties field codes. Now simply add the embedded code that you wish to use, such as to name, to fax num, etc., and click OK. Now by default, the field code will be hidden. To see your embedded code, place your cursor in the area where you created the code, right-click, and select Toggle Field Codes. Your embedded code for that field will now show up. In versions prior to 10.5, fax cover sheets were stored in the RightFax FCS folder and were accessed from there. In RightFax 10.5, they may still be stored in the FCS folder, but now they are created on the SQL database and accessed from there. To add a cover sheet in 10.5, we'll go into Enterprise Fax Manager, go down to Cover Sheets, right-click, and select New. We can give the cover sheet any ID we want. We'll call this one New Cover Sheet. Description, again, new cover sheet. And now we import. And here in the FCS, we can go down, and I created a cover sheet called fax cover sheet codes. We select that and open. It'll now populate. When we go in OK, that cover sheet will be written to the SQL server in the RightFax database. From here, if we go into Fax Util and we go to create a new fax, we go to more options, we now see the new cover sheet is available to be selected. I'd like to thank you for selecting Advantage Technologies and wish you happy faxing.